So I'll officially kick off the event and say good morning or good afternoon based on wherever you are in the world. My name is Giulia Zampedri. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager at the European Digital SME Alliance, and I'll be the moderator of today's event. So maybe a few words about the event and what we have planned for you today. Well, you see the name on the screen. It's an event to kick off officially our internationalization activities here at Digital SME. And we thought the perfect topic to start this journey is actually to talk about internationalization strategies and best practices from SMEs, which we know it's a common and shared challenge, but also opportunities for many SMEs around the world. So maybe to go quickly guide you through the agenda. You will have first me speaking briefly, I promise I'll be brief, about our internationalization community we launched a few weeks ago at Digital SME, what kind of activities we're doing in there, and how you can be an active member of the community. And then I'll give the floor to our experts. So we'll have a panel discussion called From Local to Global, Strategies for SME Expansion. And we will have 4 speakers with us, which I hope they will, I'll introduce later, actually, let them introduce themselves later during the session. And then after panel discussion, we thought it would be also nice to hear from SMEs that actually are internationalizing. That's difficult to pronounce in the morning, sorry. So we'll hear some best practices from different SMEs. We'll have an SME from Belgium, one from Taiwan, and one from Romania. So also to share the different perspectives from different sides of Europe and Asia. So just to maybe a couple of housekeeping rules. The idea is to make a little bit the event interactive. So if any of you among the participants are interested in asking any questions to the speakers, feel free to type them in the chat, and then I'll try to report them back to the speakers and introduce them into the discussion. If there is anything else you want to share or comments, happy to, or even I know it's sometimes useful to share, for example, LinkedIn profiles in the chat, feel free to do so. And last but not least, the event is recorded, so we'll publish it on our website. So if you need it or you want to catch up on something, the recording will be available. That's kind of my introduction, and maybe maybe now I'll move to the part where I explain a little bit more about our internationalization work. So as some of you might be familiar with, the Digital SME is a network of European small and medium enterprises active in the tech sector. We represent around 45,000 companies, and we've been around for, next year's 20 years, so 19 years. And in the past few years, we received a growing interest, of course, from our members in Europe to get more collaborations and support with internationalization and meeting partners outside Europe. At the same time, also different stakeholders from outside Europe started getting in touch. So we thought, okay, how do we kind of create a platform where we actually support our members and stakeholders into getting in touch, because we know it, and we're going to talk about it also later in the panel discussion. This is also one of the challenges. So we created an internationalization community, which you can join via this QR code, and you can find out more. And basically, yes, the platform is created to connect stakeholders. And in particular, we are planning to have activities in these three areas. One is access to funding and expertise. So we know that there is a lot of funding available, but often SMEs are not aware of this funding and these opportunities also to facilitate interaction and partnering up, but also, to fund the activities per se. So we wanted to create a platform where we are kind of, bringing together these different opportunities and delivering them to the members of the community. Then, of course, the second one is the networking. So bringing together all the different stakeholders and make sure that you have a platform to communicate. So that's also why the community is hosted on our matchmaking platform, which allows every user to basically create a profile. And then you can also filter the different participants so that, you hopefully find someone, people you need, and they can be useful. We're also going to organize more organized matchmaking events to kind of foster collaboration, also by geographical area. And then last but not least, regulatory guidance, especially when it comes to Europe and companies that are interested in doing business in Europe. We know that sometimes it sounds a little bit intimidating. There are a lot of rules, 27 different ways of doing business as well at the moment, many languages. So it's we want to provide the support on these, and also, for European companies that want to do, business, for example, in Malaysia. That's one example, of course, out of many. We want to be able to put you in touch with stakeholders and organizations that can help you. So that's kind of what the idea of the community is about. And I hope you'll be interested in joining. You can check it now. If you're interested or want to know more or ask any questions, you can also write me an email, and I'll be happy to schedule a meeting with you. And at the moment, we have an early bird discount to kick off the community. So if you're interested, there it is. Okay, so that's one of the things. Sorry, we have one small issue with technical issue, but other than that, yeah, if there are any questions, I am here. Yes, so I'll slowly move into the panel discussion and introduce you our great speakers that we have today. So as I said, the panel idea is to bring together different experts in internationalization, or with also different backgrounds, focusing also on different geographical area, to present a little bit with best practices, but also challenges or differences we see across the world. So I'll briefly introduce the speakers, then I'll have a kickoff question for them, and maybe if you want to say a little bit more, you introduce yourself. So as a first speaker, we have Stefan Schütze-Tobal, and he is an expert sourcing and markets at the Import Promotion Desk. Second, we have John Tay, which is the Chief Strategy Officer at the Malaysia IoT Association. Then we have Lina Link, and she's a policy officer at the European Commission in DG INPA. And then last but not least, we have Stina Lambrecht, manager at the EU-Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation. I'm very happy to have you all here, and welcome to the session. I'll just go to the first, general question a little bit to everyone. Let's try to keep it kind of brief, and maybe you can also say a few more words about your job if you want. But maybe, yes, in one sentence, what's the single biggest mistake you see SMEs make when they first try to go international? Yeah. Whoever wants to start, please take the floor. Otherwise, we go in the order on the display. Okay, maybe Stefan, do you want to start?
Sure, Julia, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear you well?
Perfect, thank you very much. So I would say the most common mistake SME do is they get overconfident when they go to international markets. And in my experience and what I have been seeing with a lot of SMEs around the world is exactly that. You know, they think, and just because they're going to a new market, they normally know things better than in the markets, and that's most of the time not the real things that happen, and that it creates lots of problems in terms of expectations. You know, so the expectations are too high, difficult to achieve, and when they face that, probably they get frustrated, and that gives two options: either they fail because they don't have the enough knowledge, so they don't see the opportunity and don't continue, um, or they just fail because they don't understand how the culture and businesses are done in different geographies. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I have discovered in my experience in terms of SMEs going to international markets.
Thank you, Stefan.
Maybe I
Yeah,
will chip in.
yes, but
Thank you very much, Julia, for the invitation. I kind of agree with Stefan as well. From my experience, SME going overseas, they are not familiar with the local culture, the language, the regulation, laws, and so on. I believe that can be shortened or lesson learned by collaborating with the local partners on the smart partnership. I think that will be one good way, so that they do not make the mistake of going, really gung ho to go all the way, because those are I see some of the mistake that I've seen, and yeah. Thank you.
thank you, John. Maybe jumping to Lina.
Yes, hello, good morning, and maybe just a short introduction what DG INTPA means. So this is the Directorate General for International Partnerships. This is the directorate that deals with international cooperation at the European Commission, and we are cooperating under our directorate with countries in Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, Caribbean, and Asia Pacific. So almost the whole world except for neighborhood countries and North Africa and the Middle East countries. And I'm sitting in digital transformation unit and dealing with e-governance. So this is a domain which is predominantly, run by small and medium-sized entities. So a topic very close to my heart, how to enable those companies to take part in our programs. But to comment on this, and with the risk of repeating a little bit, but I think that also the underestimation of local presence, the importance of being present locally, and many SMEs don't have capacity, resources to go and establish a local presence immediately, but then indeed it's very important to have a strong local partner. And also I think this humility or worldview of learning from each other and adaptation to local context, this is also something that if you forget it, then you cannot be successful.
Thank you, Lina. So yeah, so far I hear overconfidence, not knowing enough about the country, but maybe, Stina, did we solve your technical issues by any chance? Can we hear you? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hi, everybody. Maybe a short word, maybe because my organization is also a bit unique in that sense. I'm from the EU-Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation, which is a joint venture between the European Commission and the Japanese government. And we promote all sorts of cooperation, investment between Japan and the EU. And in that context, we help companies organize missions to Japan as well. Maybe I introduce them later. But to answer your question shortly, like in one sentence, that's not a lot. I think culture is indeed a big one, especially for Japan. But I would say for SMEs, they look at it often as some kind of an export exercise, while especially for Japan, it should be seen as a kind of market entry process, which needs a lot of localization, getting accustomed to the market. Japan is a very big market, and companies often ask, like, why is that company here in that market? So asking, of course, yourself the question, what is my added value going to be on this market? That's an important element also to take into account, and it fits in with that overconfidence that was earlier mentioned as well.
Thank you for the overview. I think all the points kind of, everything you're mentioning kind of connects to each other and builds on top of each other. So it's also interesting that you're even from, if you are all from, I would say, still very different, backgrounds and experiences and geographical areas. I think it's still interesting to see that the issues seem to be more or less the same. Okay.
I'd like to add something, Julia.
Yeah,
Just one point. Just thought about it. I think most of the panelists has mentioned the other point that I've learned in the past or part of my journey was the post support. I think the presence of post support locally is very key. I've seen some projects that they do not have a local presence, just an agent or middle man. I think that is something need to be looked at. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A good point. Thank you, John. Okay, now we identified a little bit what the common mistakes are, and we see that they're consistently the same, at least from your experiences, and maybe into going into opportunities and what can we do, or what can a company do to internationalize. I'm going to Lina. Maybe, Lina, you can tell more about the Global Gateway, but in general, this is the EU flagship strategy for connecting Europe with partner countries through sustainable investments. And often I know that there are many opportunities coming from the Global Gateway, but maybe, Lina, you can provide some examples of programs for tech SMEs that are there. For example, the investment hub, and what can a company do to access these opportunities if they're, not familiar necessarily in the first place. So a little bit, I would like to hear your perspective of some tip and tricks on how to exploit what's already there.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, maybe a couple of words about Global Gateway as well, because every time I speak anywhere, the first question is, what is Global Gateway? Because it's been with us for over 5 years, but still maybe not so clear. So very shortly, this is indeed the European Union's global strategy on sustainable development, and we are focusing on 5 areas: so digital, energy, transport, connectivity, and also health and education. And even though it's called a connectivity strategy, we are also wanting to put out values-driven alternative to this infrastructure development and sustainable development. We call it the 360 degrees approach. This means that we are not only focusing on hard infrastructure, but really going also with other elements like dealing with regulations, standards, governance, skills, capacity building, all that elements that actually make the infrastructure useful for the societies. And indeed, we are looking for win-win partnerships. We are really looking at what are the needs and priorities of partner countries. And under the current geopolitical context, we are more and more also looking at what are European strategic interests when we select and prioritize our investments. And the Global Gateway strategy was really announced to scale it up, our development finance, which is under current MFF, it's on multi-annual financial program, it's 80 billion euros. But the promise from the start was that we will mobilize also private finance from development banks, etc. So the initial promise was to mobilize altogether 300 billion euros. And I heard a recent statement that we have already reached to 400. So we have been indeed successful in mobilizing additional finance to be more sustainable and have more impact. And indeed, in recent year plus, we have been looking more and more how to bring more European private sector and private sector interest on board with this whole approach. And just historically, our programming has happened like enlarged by two ways, giving budget support and giving grants to implementation organizations, those who are pillar assessed. And through these two channels, there have been tenders where private sector has been able to participate. But now we are thinking of new ways how to involve private sector from earlier part of programming. So to initiate programs, to get ideas from private sector. So last year we announced a new approach of programming, which is called Investment Hub. And it's meant for European companies to provide their good project ideas through Team National. So the Team National would be the body at the member state level, consisting of relevant parties dealing with export promotion and development cooperation. It depends member state by member state who are exactly the participants in this Team National. But the Team National would be then the first step of assessing whether this project is in line with Global Gateway priorities. Team National will also assess whether they can provide some political or financial support, and then send it to DG INPA, and then we can start structuring it in a bigger way, finding what are the appropriate financial tools, what kind of political support is needed. Do we have other member states doing something similar, so that we can really build up a Team Europe approach, so that we are not working in so fragmented way, but supporting each other in what we are doing. So there are specific requirements to this to these projects, but maybe I will not go into much more detail now. But this is, in a nutshell, what we are doing at the moment.
Thank you, Lina, for the comprehensive explanation. Maybe feel free to share in the chat any useful links, so that, you know, if there are any questions, people at least have access to the resources, because I know it's, especially the Investment Hub, is a multi-step process, as you were outlining, so sometimes it can be a bit challenging at first. Okay, maybe moving back to Steen and Japan and the perspective of Japan. So I think you explained, well, we already kind of anticipated what I wanted to ask you about. Yes, the fact that Japan is a challenging market to enter. But yeah, you explained a little bit why it's what companies usually underestimate. But maybe, yes, for the companies that are still interested and they don't just see Japan as an export country, what's in practice, maybe a few tips on how to get it right and actually have a successful, you know, market entry into Japan?
Thank you for the, of course, challenging question. Now, I don't mean to make it complicated, I think Japan is also like any other market where European SMEs can export to. But I think what is often being underestimated is that Japanese companies, Japanese partners, are maybe not so much buying the technology or the innovation, but rather the a kind of certainty. So they look at what you have on offer through a risk-sensitive lens. Is this going to cause any operational difficulty if I'm going to do that? Is this company going to be available when I need support? And there, I think what John says, it's very important to have actually someone on the ground, usually in form of a partner, but someone who can manage the operations when you are going to be in Europe. Now, it is probably very important as a tip to demonstrate really how your solution, your product, your service is going to integrate with certain legacy systems that exist, or the systems that these kind of Japanese companies are using. And doing that not just by a short paragraph, but really with a kind of case study, like, look, we showed it fits right into this kind of CRM, it fits kind of into this kind of enterprise software, that they really are assured that it is going to work and that you've done, let's say, the homework, that it's going to work. So in addition, I would also say that it is, I said about maybe not so the innovation, but more about the certainty. But it's also important to be very specific, like which is the exact operational problem that you are going to solve. And then also substantiate that with certain case studies. That's probably the biggest tips that I can give. But the final tip is probably that you should also really come here. Actually, I'm based in Tokyo, and I'm leading the digital mission that we are doing every year to Japan for European companies, and being here on the ground, talking with the companies, talking with the partners, not just once, but several times, that you can build this kind of trust is something that is often being misunderstood, because it really does take time to be successful on this market.
Thank you so much, Shin, for the good overview and I think very practical tips. I can confirm, as Digital SME, we were last year in Japan, and yeah, everything you're saying, it's exactly what we saw, and we would recommend also the delegation to any company that is interested in looking into Japan, at least as a first step forward.
Maybe if I may, our next digital mission is coming up in October, and applications are currently open, and it's free for SMEs to participate. I'll post a link in the chat so people can check it out if they're interested.
Exactly, thank you. I know that each of the speaker has a kind of some opportunities that could be interesting for the audience. So what we're going to also try to do is to collect all the useful information, and in the follow-up email also to all the participants, I will try to include all the useful links so you have them already, and they're there all in one place. Thank you. Then still staying in Asia, but moving to Malaysia, John, maybe for some for SMEs that are not from the region and are interested in the Southeast Asia market, what do you think it's the real entry point? Like, is it partnerships, pilot projects? What's your experience? And what can you recommend the companies when looking at this market?
Okay, thank you, Julian, for the question. Firstly, I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. I'm from the Malaysia IoT Association. So basically, we are NGOs, a non-profit. We even have some members from Europe as well. I guess the first entry point is even sometimes we have companies, big and small, from Europe, from around the world. We are international association. Sometimes I'm trying to see how we can help them. They are keen. They came for like conference, exhibition. We met locally and internationally, and some have joined our members. Something that always I'm thinking, how can we add value, or how they can add value to our association? We want it both ways. We focus quite a lot on IoT, or Internet of Things, and basically, and AI right now, you cannot go without AI. So basically, we are system integrators. Basically connecting all the platforms for governments, for industry and academia as well. So not forgetting academia. So, and of course association. So based on my experience, I can share is I've done two big projects with European and Northern American companies, and they have business in Malaysia. I think was very challenging, but I guess lesson learned. I mentioned just now local presence. This company was very big. I won't mention the name. From Europe, their presence in Malaysia was very coming to Malaysia with a very niche software that there's only like one or two in the world. So that is a plus for them. But the lesson learned was the presence of the local company. I think Stefan mentioned just now as well. Was not strong. I think and then due to the time zone as well, anytime there's any problem with the system, you got to wait 24 hours, 48 hours, or worse still, they have to fly some engineers in, because the local partners do not build up their expertise, or I think it was very, very, very difficult. It was a very niche software that was built many, many years ago. And it passed through one year after another. So I think it's getting the local partner, technology transfer, I think is very important, or work with the association, local association, or get assistance from, for those who are new, get assistance from the government agency or bodies that can help them, to basically get them on the right footing, so that they can look at the longer term business rather than a once off, or because I mentioned just now, post support is very critical. We a lot of companies, they will say, how do you support us? And I know right now with a lot of technologies, certain application you can go through via internet, seamlessly, 24/7. But when it comes to machinery or machine, that is a very unique, and you don't have a lot of spare parts available. Those are some challenges that needs to be addressed, upfront as much as possible. So I think it's important thing is learn the culture, do a proof of concept if you can. I know proof of concept, it can be a cost as well, due to the distance, the time zone as well. But I think we have to start somewhere. But those are what I can share, that for SME who are willing to come on board, or either vice versa as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, John, for the nice summing up. Okay, moving a little bit forward, in terms of, okay, we identified what could be done, but yeah, maybe again looking into what are a little bit the opportunities and the support mechanism that are there, going back to Lina and the opportunities coming from the Global Gateway. Yes, how do we make sure, like, I wanted to rephrase my question. And yes, so what do you think of the global gateway instruments? How can we involve better SMEs? Yes, how SMEs can directly get involved going forward into the global gateway activities, and whether there are any plans or anyways any support instruments to match, for example, European companies with companies from other sides of the world. So yes, a little bit building on what I asked you in the previous question.
Yes, thank you. Indeed, this is we are doing a lot on this domain, and I tried to be comprehensive by giving some of the hints that are based on our current work. I think I would bring it down to building the networks. It's important to for SMEs to build networks with right people in partner countries, but also in the national governments and the Commission. But it's also for us important to understand which of the companies are interested in which of the markets, and so that we know we have a very huge task ahead of us. We have 27 member states, very vibrant industry in any of these, and how to get to know these companies and their interests is a huge task. So indeed, the first point, the investment hub, we are trying to make it easier to get this. So instead of trying to find out which door to knock in the Commission, then for an SME, it would be possible to go to Team National. So maybe a little bit easier way to approach us. Second thing I would like to advertise is D4D Hub. We have set up D4D Hub, which is short for Digital for Development. And this is a tool where the Commission talks to member states. We have 17 member states joined that D4D Hub, and we really try to build up this Team Europe approach on digital programs so that we don't work in so fragmented way. And under D4D Hub, we also have Private Sector Advisory Group, PSAG, and Digital SME Alliance is also part of that group. And this is this is a tool for us to also use to different kind of events and information sharing. So first of all, I would like to stress that we have members in PSAG from both Europe and partner countries. So it's already possibility to build network within that group. But we also organize different kind of events. So for example, we have next week upcoming private sector workshop on exactly on how to scale up SMEs' role in Digital Global Gateway. So for PSAG members, it's an event that they can already register to. If you are not a PSAG member, please do register to be part of that group. We also organize different events. For example, just a month ago, we had Smart Africa, which is a regional organization in Africa dealing with interoperability between countries and digitalization of governments. They brought 10 IT agencies at director level to Brussels, and we also invited European private sector to meet up with those people to build those B2G connections. We also organize joint visits to international events. For example, recently we went to Kenya on Kenya Investment Conference. We invited PSAG members to join there with the UTech business offer booth and be present there with us. Also recently, just last week, I was in EIC DPI forum in Tallinn, where Germany and Estonia brought also 8 member states from Eastern African region to Tallinn, private sector, as well as government representatives. So it was also a matchup between European and African companies and government representatives. And also in PSAG, we do discussions on different topics. We still discuss about mapping private sector challenges in the international markets, but we also do workshops to really go forward and plan more concretely our programs. Some other elements I can mention. The Commission organizes a business fora in different partner countries. Usually digital is one part of the focus topics, and of course all the companies who want to join this business fora are welcome to join. I will add a link to this webpage in the chat. We do have tenders portal, and in addition to usual tenders that everybody has used to, we are also piloting new types of funding arrangements. Just recently, we had calls for proposals on AI for green transition, where we distributed 40.5 million euros as grants, from 500,000 to 2 million, on transport, AI, energy, and urban development. So these kind of calls for proposals are likely to continue. So keep an eye on the tenders portal. I also advise you to contact the national development banks of European Union, for example, BGK from Poland and FinFund from Finland. The Commission has signed guarantee agreements with those banks, so that we can absorb some of the risk of lending, so they would be able to lend in more favorable terms. And especially BGK is focused on lending to private companies. And maybe one more thing, also for us to know better EU. So if you have a specific country that's of interest to you, make sure that you are also visible to the EU delegation in that country, Eurojam or any other cluster organization that is active on that country, so that we can build those connections and knowledge about your ideas and interests in those partner countries.
Thank you, Dina, for the I know I asked a very broad question, and you could probably talk for 2 hours about all the different mechanisms. I hope at least this, brief overview of all the different things can be helpful, because as we know, there are a lot of opportunities coming from Europe, but yeah, the data shows sometimes that SMEs are not aware of these opportunities. So I'm happy that we're managing to give a little bit of more information about the different opportunities. So thank you, Lina. Going to Stefan. Just maybe, yes, a few words on the opportunities you have from the import promotion desk. What's upcoming, and how SMEs can register. So a very practical question on what do you have for SMEs right now that it could be useful for the participants.
Julia, thank you very much. So, on behalf of the Import Promotion Desk, we're a program financed by the Federal Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation in Germany. And we have presence in 21 countries around the world, and we're active in digital services and products in 3. That's Kenya, Tunisia, and Sri Lanka. And basically, we are a demand-driven program that enable cross-border collaborations to happen. So that means that we understand the challenges of our industry in Europe, and we try to connect them with the right service provider in the 3 countries that we are active in. So how do we do that? We have different instruments. First of all, we have what we call our business delegations. And for example, in March, we did one to Kenya. Then we were together with 7 European companies. And I don't want to spoil the results, because we have Marius here, and he's probably the person who truly can say how we do it and if it's of benefit for SMEs or not. But we also do what we call selling missions. So that means that in April, I was here with 12 companies from Sri Lanka, Kenya, and Tunisia. And basically, we were in different cities in Europe, and we connect them with the ecosystems and the industry. And of course, we also do some digital events, but we're very well connected and try to always cooperate as we have our partnerships with you and IT associations, so that we can truly understand the demands of Europe, because at the end that's what we want to support. We are for free, so that means that we don't charge the companies to be part of our program, but we have our commitment fees. That means that every time we do a mission, then of course there are some fees that you need to take, so that we make sure that the companies that are with us are committed. So that's on a nutshell a bit about the import promotion desk. I like to call it, I don't have a program, I build it as a startup, so it's a working process. I work it agile, so the idea is to always improve and get the most for the SMEs in Europe, but also in the countries that we support. Because that's the idea, that we truly bring innovation to Europe, and at the same time we go with the innovation from here to the countries that we are active in. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did, Stefan. Maybe I already have a follow-up question. I would like also to invite to address the same question to Sting. So maybe as you both have experience in these in introducing SMEs to different countries, I think one issue that we hear, or at least I've heard from different SMEs, is that it's also difficult to find trustworthy partners in the different countries, because sometimes you don't know where to start, sometimes you don't know if the partner is the correct one, and so on. So you don't know if you're losing time, maybe. So maybe, do you have any advice on how to vet partners in unfamiliar markets, and some ideas on how to make, I mean, I know that through the delegations you're organizing, it's already a great starting point, but if you have any other advice, that would be nice to hear.
Okay, thank you. That's it's a challenging topic. How to see, let's say, a potential partner. What we see often with companies coming in is that, let's say, everybody wants to make, let's say, a deal, a distribution agreement. They want to quickly move ahead, but maybe better to look at these kind of partners and to vet them is to really see how are they able to support me, and how can they function as my long-term, let's say, market entry infrastructure, because they will need to do a lot for you. You're going into a new country, you don't know the culture, you don't know the business structure, so they will really be your, let's say, need to be your trusted partner. And how you can know them, they can be your trusted partner, is to see how will they manage, let's say, localization, how will they manage the integration, how will they manage the access to the end users. So you can have a lot of questions that you can learn how they really are going to manage all those aspects, to see what they've done before, that they could be really the right fit for you. And as we're talking today about digital solutions, and maybe this is more specific for the Japanese market, but I would stress the importance of system integrators here. They're really probably your go-to partner if you're gonna get started on the market, because they will act as a kind of gatekeeper to end users. They will be designing, they will be integrating, they will be maintaining. So having a partner like that has good experience there, that will probably benefit a good relationship, that you can see, okay, this is a company, a partner that I can trust to cooperate with.
Thank you. The system integrators tip, I think it's very useful. Maybe not only for Japan. Stefan?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Julia. I agree, of course, with what Steen just said. But also, I would like to include that a good advice is to find a partner that you can communicate with. And it sounds very easy, but it's really difficult sometimes to get. So that means that that partner really need to to have clear channels of communications with the European partner so that the projects can be really be done and innovation can be brought to the table. Because what I have also seen in my experience is that sometimes we have such a structure in Europe that sometimes it's tough also to bring innovation. So that's why when it helps that if you find a partner that have a good communication combined with the use cases, I completely agree with Steen. That truly creates a good partnership model when both sides can benefit from it. So it's on the one side, they understand the culture, they understand the business, they understand the market, and at the same time you understand Europe. You can also bring the know-how and expertise that you have here, and that you combine with, of course, quality management, with compliance, and this clear communication. And I think that's how you can truly see whether a partner it's a right fit to your company or not.
Thank you both. I think these were both very complimentary answers to each other. Maybe now going to John and looking at another side of the equation before kind of wrapping up the panel with a general question to the speakers. But yeah, for John, I mean, we see that with digital products, of course, there is also a lot of regulation coming into play, different regulations, of course, that are different across the world, but also challenges in terms of standardization, interoperability, and so on. So what's your advice for SMEs when it comes to navigating well, most of the time it is complex regulatory landscape in a foreign country?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think one advice that I've seen, I know from depending on which side you're sitting on, I think a lot of companies sometimes they overcommit, and when it comes to deliverable, it will be very challenging for the team to commit, especially like if you are talking about from various countries, from different time zone, and so on. So I think important that we do not overcommit to customer. Rather we do it on a scalable type of commitment, so that at the end of the day we're looking at a long-term partnership. Coming back to where my other roles or responsibility as well, I sit in one of the committee in the ministry, providing digital transformation for SME as well. We provide advice, we guide them on how they can go into automation, or how they can transform their SME with some matching grant or loan and so on. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there, especially because I'm quite sure in every country there's so many other responsibility or ministry doing their own role. Sometimes you do not know where to go. Even a lot of companies have one-stop shop, but then there's still a lot of other agencies or ministry that are responsible for specific area, whether it's in regulation or whether it's in different domain expert or verticals where they are responsible. For example, like even you have technology, you still need to work with like Ministry of Plantation, Ministry of Transport, Smart City, or even with manufacturing. So a lot of, I think it's very complex. I'm quite sure it's very similar across the countries. So we do a lot of part of our initiative is to collaborate with the Eurocham as well. We have engaged them. We're trying to see how we can collaborate with the local partners in the European side, through conference, through face-to-face meeting, through our association, of course, and then to see how we can find the right partnership. Our big event coming up is a Smart Nation conference and exhibition on 17 to 19 November in Malaysia. So there's a lot of opportunity for those who are keen to collaborate or be part of our chapter, where you can get the right exposure with the right verticals that you focus on, and so that's one way to be able to identify the right partnership. I think from the ASEAN culture, I think friendship relationship is a start for most of our partnership. Trust, we build trust, and then the rest, technology is technology. I think trust is there. I think it will be much easier to move forward and for longer term. Yeah. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, John, for the overview. And now, as well, we're already 1 minute late probably, but just to wrap up the panel, really, if you can answer with maximum one sentence, and maybe to also give hope, conclude on a positive note. What does successful internationalization look like? So that's for all the speakers. Again, brief, please. I don't know who wants to start. I don't want to point out like in school and say, you start. But John, you're unmuted, so.
Okay, maybe I'll go ahead. Yeah, I think I just shared also for internationalization. I think it's very critical. I think friendship is one thing. Friendship, trust. I mentioned just now. I think very important to break into the market. I think if that can be settled in the early stage, I think the journey will be a lot more smoother. Yeah, that's my take. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, John. Stefan?
Sure. For me, Julia, would be to create a community. I think everyone can sell, but a few can connect. If you manage to connect and create a community with the right network, I'm confident you will have powerful results. So for me, that would be successful, and I hope Marius can tell about that when he's going to speak afterwards.
Thank you, Stefan. Dina, do you want to go next?
Yes, sure. Yeah, I'm going with the same line. So it's important to build networks and then prove with a pilot, and then scale sustainably, and in a like with a long-term perspective.
Thank you, Nina. I think yes, the long-term perspectives should also be an important point here. And then
Yeah, indeed, that sums it up very good. I think everybody had all the points already here. I think especially because, of course, I have a very specific view of Japan as well, that it's about indeed this trust and this mutual trust as well, that you provide actually also the benefit for the other country, and the other country provides the benefit for you to kind of have this kind of successful internationalization, I think.
Okay, so community, long-term vision, or long-term scalability. Yeah, these I think are the two main takeaways, and I thank you all for making the time today to share also your experiences, but also the opportunities and things you're working on. I hope maybe you can stay for the next session, where we are going to hear a little bit more from the SMEs that are actually on the ground, and sharing also the other side of the medal, so their own perspective. So again, thank you so much to the speakers. And I'll move to the next and last part of the event. Here we have 3 companies. I'll briefly introduce you all, but then of course feel free to compliment me. We have Anthony Sente, CEO and co-founder at Atomnia, Simon Lu, CEO at Arbor Technology Solutions, and Mario Saratao, founder and president at Factory 4.0. I'll just give you the floor because I think that's what matters, your experience. So Anthony, feel free to share the screen. Hope it works. And,
all right.
Yeah, the floor is yours. And then I also say already in the as a reminder, if there are any questions to any of the speakers from the participants, please type them in the chat.
All right. Can you hear me and can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name's Anthony, and I'm here from Atomnia. And Atomnia is a European network and cybersecurity company. We've developed an all-in-one solution for companies of all sizes and in all industries to keep them to keep you connected, to keep you protected online, AI enhanced, and also NIS2 compliant. And Omnia, our product, is available in several markets, but it wasn't always that way. So I'm just going to take you on a short history of perhaps our first attempt at international expansion, the lessons that we learned there, our second attempt at international expansion, the difference between the first one and the second one, and also try to give you some honest, warts and all hindsight advice. All right, so please bear with me. So way back now, it seems in 2016, I started this company based on a technology called SD-WAN, basically a clever software that would keep companies connected to the internet. I was a single person doing this in 2016. Yeah, you can see we also used to make our logos in PowerPoint, so I put them on there just to show the journey. By 2018, there were 3 people in the team, and we were actually able to define the tech. So we were invited to write the global standards for SD-WAN technology, and we became subject matter experts in the technology. We also investigated around about 70 different global solutions from the biggest vendors in providing SD-WAN. By 2021, SD-WAN Solutions had a team of 4. We were double accredited in what we did. We were winning awards, particularly in the UK. We beat billion-dollar US tech companies to win the Best SD-WAN Company Award. We were on top of the world. We were really cocky, and we decided to take our experience, take our product, take ourselves global. So, sorry, just dragging that out the way. So as I said, we were predominantly a UK company. We decided that we needed to be in Europe. So we chose Belgium as a company to move to. We chose Belgium because our CTO had once visited there and he liked the country. Also, then we decided to go opposite end of the world, and we decided to go to South Africa because I had the most amazing childhood in South Africa, and I wanted to return there, and I wanted to give them our solution. We employed 2 of the top salespeople, top of their game salespeople, put them in these different countries. And also we worked with the world's biggest name in hardware to develop our hardware because we wanted the best. We spent 250,000 euros that year, money that we didn't have, and we had 0 increase in sales. Right. So what was the mistakes? Well, even though we were big names in perhaps the UK and perhaps in the States in circles within the SD-WAN circles, there was no real unique differentiation for us or our company. We were just another company trying to sell an SD-WAN technology that was relatively new. We had done no market research, we had done no competition analysis, and we were this absolutely tiny voice in a huge market. And we were all alone. We had no help. We had no friends. We had no allies. We had no contacts. We had nothing. We just landed in these countries. We also had no international business experience. We didn't know the guidance. We didn't know the laws. We vastly overspent by getting the top people in to try to sell our solutions for us, and we didn't have any brand awareness at all in the new regions. I mean, looking back, it was a silly thing to do, but we didn't know it at the time. Like I said, we were hugely confident in our abilities to be able to take over the world. So let's go back to where we were in 2021. From there, after doing all of this, we really sat down, we grew the team to 7, and we decided we needed to focus, we needed a strategy, we needed to be different. So we set about developing some of our own product sets to give us the differentiation into those markets, to be not just another one of the hundreds of thousands of people that did the same as what we did. We also, this was the first year that we joined the Digital SME Alliance, so that we weren't alone. We had great value in attending meetings, meeting with other SMEs, meeting with different organizations, perhaps SMEs that had already done the journey and could give us advice, or SMEs going through the same as what we were, and we could combine our notes and see what worked for us. We had consistent brand growth, consistent messaging. We were really growing up as a company, and all of this seemed to work because we had interest from Southeast Asia, actually, ironically, from Malaysia, which showed us that we were doing everything right, because we caught the attention of a Malaysian company who was trying to get a similar product to ours into the market in the Philippines. So this was 22 to 23. From 24 to 25, we carried on the same track. We rebranded as SD-WAN and SASE solutions. So we expanded from just the technology that we did. We included security, as that's the way the market was moving. We attended more and more partner events. We tried to pick up thought leadership roles, promoting ourselves as experts in what we did. And we were also lucky enough to be selected to represent Europe at the EU Africa SME Summit, ironically in Johannesburg, the place that was a disaster for us 2 years before. But this event showed us that when you have the right, when you are at the right event, speaking to the right people, presenting to the right people, finding and building relationships with those people who can really make a difference in your life, that is the absolute difference of trying to do it alone or trying to do it with the help of organizations that know that are looking for the same kind of things that you are. We also came back from that event. We built the processes, we built partnerships, we built training and documentation. We also took a real hard look at ourselves and decided we couldn't do everything for everyone. So we outsourced some of the stuff that we didn't do well ourselves. And one of the outsourcing actually led us to meeting our distributor, which I will discuss in a couple of lines. So we were looking for someone who could actually deliver remote engineers to install our project in Africa, and that turned into a distribution for us later on. But also, again, everything that we were doing seemed to be working. We got our largest sale and also quite a few smaller customer wins also. So where were we then? From 25 to 26, things really started to ramp up for us. We were now a team of 10. And if you count our partners and our distributors, we're actually an international team of 45 people, although 10 are strictly with SD-WAN solutions. We applied to join a tech accelerator program in Belgium. Ignity is one of Europe's best accelerator programs. We were successful, we got accepted to them, and they gave us a wealth of knowledge that we just didn't have ourselves. There was no prize money for being accepted into the Tech Accelerator program, but what there was invaluable business advice. We get a dedicated business coach, we get international experience from their scaling companies for the last 20 years. They also opened doors for us networking wise. They gave us access to HR, to finance, etc. So we felt we weren't alone. Also, as part of that, we were introduced through Ignity to AWEX, which is particularly in Belgium. It's Wallonia as a province in Belgium. And this government organization is tasked with helping Belgian companies or local Wallonia companies get ready to export their products globally. And they have offices all over the world, which again opened huge amount of doors for us. You would have seen I missed the part about strategic partnerships and ACS. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we were exhibiting at the Digital SME event, one of the last events in December, and we were placed right next door to a very shy company called Advanced Cybersecurity from Serbia. We got to talking to them, etc. And this has actually led to a fantastic strategic partnership between the two of us. So after meeting at the Digital SME event, 2 years down the line, ACS is an integral part of our solution, and we are taking the joint solution globally with us. For example, they supply services that we didn't even imagine that we could have or integrate into us. Okay, and then also through AWEX, the Belgian government or the Belgian embassy have backed us as a cybersecurity product, taking us international. They have offered their embassies in the Philippines, in Cape Town, in Pretoria, where we have held events, and we have also held private meetings where selected government departments, etc., from Pretoria were invited to us. That was 3 weeks ago, and we've actually secured 3 proof of concept trials just from that one event, from having the backing of our local governments. All of this also, we were very lucky to be crowned the winner of the Belgian government's Start to Defense program, where they were looking for the best solution to protect critical infrastructure. Like I said, we won that, and that has again opened doors for us. Just having that endorsement has opened doors for similar organizations across Southeast Asia, coast guards, air forces, armies, etc. And all of this attention meant that we were lucky enough to be invited to the Cyber Made in Belgium association by Agoria. So I'm not just trying to brag and show you these things. What I'm trying to say is we thought we were ready before, but we're not. So where are we now? So we have actually moved completely from being a UK company to being a Belgian company, where our international headquarters is, our research and development is in Belgium. We now have distribution across the EU, across the entire African continent, Southeast Asia, Ireland, etc. We have partners in 10 different countries. Just naming the flags, obviously the UK, South Africa, Ivory Coast, Mauritius, Ireland, the Philippines, across the EU, and of course across the States also. Our strategic partner, ACS, is in the process of relocating to Belgium so that we can work more closely with them. Our turnover has increased 4 times since 2022. We're going through the trademarking section of trademarking our solutions, and our hardware is certified in all the different regions that we're at. Okay, so what lessons have we learned? So going from 2022, where these were the reasons that we failed, so we have actually now proven a competitive advantage with our products, with our solutions, with the way we operate. We identified needs. Sometimes those needs identified us, as was the case for Malaysia and the Philippines. They came to us. We have a really firm, strong partnership of distribution partners and alliances with different organizations and local country people. We have international exposure. We have the business coaching, etc. And we have a business plan. Everything has value for us, and we have built the correct team around this, and everything is backed up by case studies, reference customers, and awards, for example. So this is my hindsight advice. Don't run before you can walk. I know someone says don't be too confident, but it's as simple as don't jump until you're ready. Listen to the criticism and don't fake it until you make it. It just isn't going to work for you. Product and service readiness, preparation is key. Make sure you have your training courses on your product, all your documentation, your videos. Make sure your pricing or your quoting tools are absolutely correct, and that you have foreign exchange bank accounts set up, different currencies, and you are able to deal with those different countries. Make sure that your back-end systems are all in place, all of your CRM, all of your ordering, etc., marketing, sales, battle cards. And also something as simple as, is your product really suitable? Take on the criticism, go and do market testing. Is there a need for your market or for your product overseas? What are the differentiators? Who are your competitors? And how does it integrate? For example, is it easy to do? Is it a product that is exportable to different countries? And when it comes to partnerships, really don't go it alone. Yeah, don't you one man, one woman, one person cannot really make a difference. And find someone local with a similar mindset, similar goals, and also a similar and excellent reputation within the industry to partner with. But partnerships can change, and make sure that you have all the legal contracts in place to refer to when there are disputes. Don't skip this step. You know, it's an expense right in the beginning, but you really need to make sure you are covered with this. And from a legal perspective, make sure the legality is valid in all the areas that you are in. And then endorsements. When you're promoting yourself in media or social media, etc., when someone else says something really nice about you, it's got so much more weight than you saying nice things about yourself. Okay, so make sure you do those. And also, you can't expand remotely. You have to go to the places. You have to meet the people. You have to meet the customers. You cannot achieve this on an online presentation or on a website or a brochure. You have to show up. You are your biggest brand. You are the face and the voice of your company, and you have to be there. And I think that's about it. Whoops. So if anyone wants to link up with me, quickly snapshot my LinkedIn code. I'd love to chat some more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for the, to be a very good promoter of digital SME work as well, I must say. So that's one side, but also for the very interesting presentation and really taking the time to walk us through the entire process and what worked and what didn't, or first what didn't work and then what worked. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Anthony. Okay, we're running out of time, but I hope someone will forgive me from the participants if we've probably finished 5 minutes later. But moving to the next speaker, I'm giving the floor to Simon. Simon Lu, the CEO at Harbor Technology Solutions from Taiwan. Simon, the floor is yours. We cannot hear you though. Wait a second. Yeah, I think there is some technical issue. Maybe check. Maybe if you want to try to refresh the page, usually that helps, especially if you were using headphones, because sometimes that changes the settings. But Simon, if you don't mind, while you try to solve these, I'll just give the floor to Marius, and we get back to you when Marius is done, so that you have your time to try to fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. It's okay with my
yes
settings? Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone joining today. Before I begin, I'd like to express my gratitude for European Digital SME Alliance, because they invite me to be one of the members. And also I like to thank Stephanie Simon and the Import Promotion Desk for the invitation to take part in the recent Kenya delegation. It was far more than a trip. It was a genuine opportunity to see on the ground, as you mentioned, how IT partners in Kenya can support European SMEs in innovation and growth, and how much potential lies in connecting our two regions. And also I want to thank Stefan Schutze-Tobar, with whom I have the pleasure of sharing this session today. It was a great support in Kenya in meeting all these new companies for us. Expanding internationally remains one of the hardest challenge for any small or medium enterprise. Few of us have the resources, the networks, or the local knowledge to do it alone. A platform that brings together tech SMEs, trade association, universities, chamber of commerce, and partner organizations from around the world is exactly the kind of infrastructure our companies need, and exactly the spirit in which our delegation to Kenya was built. I aim to share the first-hand experience, what we saw, what we learned, and where I believe the real opportunity lies. not only in finding partners abroad, but in building lasting ecosystem together. Because the factories of the future will not be built by single countries alone. They will be built through partnerships. So allow me to present a few ideas covering in the following slides. Okay. So I'm representing Factory 4.0, an ecosystem, a Romanian Industry 4.0 ecosystem, which is going to be global right now. We want to build the factories of the future, and we bring in this collaboration our expertise, 7 years of hands-on Industry 4.0 and cybersecurity projects turn into know-how that we can transfer. We see the potential. We transform this potential from our ecosystem into real products like Predictis, our utilities IoT and AI platform growing inside Factory 4.0. And also we create collaboration with more than 60 events, 20,000 participants. We create a living network built over years of conference workshops, galas, and working groups. I think we are a credible EU connected ecosystem with more than 5,000 specialists trained, more than 100 digital transformation audits, and 5 big European funded projects. We are a member of the Digital SME Alliance, Romania's first Industry 4.0 Living Lab, and we are the organizers of the Factory 4.0 conference. 4 things we actually do. We train experts, specialists in Industry 4.0 and industrial cybersecurity. We build methodologies, repeatable frameworks for digital transformation. We develop products, innovative solutions, validating in our living lab, and we create networks connecting SMEs, industry, and EU partners. Our expertise is in industrial cybersecurity, which is our core strength. As factories connected OT, IT, and IoT, security becomes the precondition for transformation, not an add-on. So in this area, we train specialists. We support convergence of OT and IT with hands-on experience. And of course, because you already mentioned this, we try to support the partners in complying with EU standards and other international standards for these topics. What is the potential we saw in Kenya? I think they can move from IT talent to industrial growth. And I think Kenya is the place where we can start this, because they have a strong IT, but untapped OT, a skilled IT workforce ready to grow into operational technology. The bridge we help build. They have strong potential for industrialization, services for modern production, agriculture, and urban development, and of course, huge economic potential, turning digital talent into real economic growth in the European way. Where we are today, after our visit to Kenya, we have already local partnership in place, local consultancy services engaged, because of course we need to know the market, we need to adapt to this new market, and association talks underway on projects already started. How we see the partnership that could work. We invested a lot in training and certification, training in emerging technologies and cybersecurity, internationally certified through an app. We can implement pilots and secure by design validation before scaling to real production. We are also certified under European standards, and we can help other companies and organizations to achieve these goals. And of course, we can join EU funding. We already have experience in Tunisia with Industry 4.0 project that will change the way they train the engineers in these new emerging technologies. I want to continue this in other countries. What is our global perspective? Factory 4.0 becomes now Factory X0 Global Forum, which is an international organization registered in Brussels, and which is trying to build a global Industry 4.0 ecosystem. We have two major projects working in Africa, in Kenya. We want to create a Pan-African event for Industry 4.0, Kenya being the regional hub for industrial transformation in our vision. And another one already started is in Latin America, a second ecosystem, extending the model across the region. How we see the collaboration, we are looking for partners, universities, SMEs, and other institutions who wants to join us to build these projects. Here are my contact data, but also I share my LinkedIn account on the chat. So if you have a question or want to connect, please feel free to message me. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Marius. By the way, if you want to send me the slides after the event, I can also share we can also include that in the follow-up email to the participants so they have all your contacts. Okay. And thank you for presenting what you're working on and the vision, and also the work that you're doing with the help also of or contribution of Stefan. I'm happy to hear of the successful partnership. Okay, last but not least, Simon, I hope the microphone works. I'll give you the floor.
Yes. Hi, Julia. Can you hear me? And how about the microphone? Is that okay?
Works. Yes. So please.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing my presentation.
Of course.
So can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yet. Yeah, it's loading. Yeah.
Not yet?
Perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my name is Simon Lu, and I'm the CEO of the Harvard Technology Solution. And today I want to introduce about our product solution and our government's AI platform. So today's I want to share with all of you is the topic from sensing to governments and how to build a transparent and traceable AI decision systems. So actually, in the manufacturing, there are totally the 4 causes of industry AI failure. The first one is the predict inaccuracy, and the second is the no risk rating system, and the third is no decision traceability, and the fourth is no governance framework. As you can see that a lot of the sensor and going to put the data to our the AI platform, and if the accuracy from the sensor is not correct, and then the AI model will be inaccurate as well. So starting from the sensor data, and we need to ensure that is able to be precise, translate the data from the sensor to the AI, that the AI platform. So that's the first one. And actually the risk rating system, that will be very important to evaluate the current equipment, what you are right now, the level it is. So based on that kind of 4 failure root cause, so that will be typically common seen in the industry. So based on that kind of 4 failure root cause, Harvard provide a 3-layer the AI architecture, and also provide AI platform to do some kind of starting from the bottom, the sensor to get the data with the accuracy, the data from the sensor designed by Harbor, and then we using our proprietary technology transfer from the sensor to the gateway. We call it the proprietary technology. We call it as the music string, which comes from Harbor inside, and to develop that kind of data transfer protocol. And it also has the design pattern, and applied from Harbor as well. And why we need to do that kind of proprietary technology starting from the sensor to the gateway, that is because the current protocol, similar like industry protocol, we call it RS485, and the PLC, the bandwidth of the that is very limited, and which is unable to do the pattern recognition. So that's why since 5 years ago, we started developing our proprietary protocol, and then try to get a lot of bandwidth to get the data and transfer from the sensor to gateway, and put it upload to our server. So based on that kind of, we call it the sensor AI, and we inject the AI in the sensor as well. And also we inject the AI in the gateway, and also the server AI. And we call it a 3-layer AI architecture that comes from the Harbor technology. And we also have a development pattern for the 3 layers architecture. Why we are able to do that? That is because we actually Harbor is the 12 years company, and since starting from the 2015, we do the AI speech recognition, and we develop our AI model and do noise reduction technology, and inject the machine learning model to the MCU. So that's why we are able to develop the we call it the sensor AI. That is the company in Taiwan, which is very technical innovation in Taiwan market. And then we using that kind of technology going to the manufacturing and machinery, the industry. And we start developing the AI vibration. And the next, in the 2022, we go into the power equipment market, and we design the partial discharge monitoring system. And the 2023, we go into the smart transport industry, and we design we have the vision recognition system, and later I will show you our product. And the 2024, and we do the smart logistics, and now we have the equipment health, and we start to provide a predictive platform. Right now, the 2026, we provide an AI governance platform for the AI governance, the industry. So that's why we call it the 3-layer architecture, as I mentioned before. And the layer 1, we have the sensor AI, and the task we do is to do the data retrieval and the preliminary analysis. And that's why we are able to do the AI inference in the MCU level in sensor, and report the prediction to our gateway. And the next, layer 2, we do the data storage and online AI inference. That will be in the middle layer. We are trying to inject the AI to do the gateway. And the third upper layer, we do have the server AI. And not only the AI model training, and we do the centralized management for all of our gateway connect to the equipment in the manufacturing. So based on that kind of a 3-layer AI architecture, and we are able to easily to do the AI deployment in the manufacturing, especially as you know, this year a lot of SSD and memory, the price is going very high. So based on that kind of a 3-layer architecture, we are able to reduce the cost of our equipment in order to keep the same price to our customer to going forward to using our technology to protect their equipment. So that's the advantage of the 3-layer AI architecture. So based on that kind of solution and the service architecture, and we provide 4 series guard of the product, and one of the AI decision government platform, we call it the Harbor AI. And the 4 series of the guard product, starting from the vibration guard, that will be the manufacturing and the machinery, semiconductor, energy, the equipment, health systems. And the next is a power guard. That is for the partial discharge for high voltage equipment. And the industry will be the power industry, building, transportation, and semiconductor. And the third is the sound guard. We call it the acoustic diagnostic systems. And the industry will be the manufacturing equipment and the infrastructure. And one last product is the vision guard. And we do the vision and surveillance from the industry will be the commercial, transportation, and security. Based on that 4 kinds of serious guard product, and we have the brand, we call it the Harbor AI. That's come from the AI decision governance platform. And we are able to use that kind of platform to tell our user to recommend the current decision should be done by our suggestion. And that is come from the Harbor AI. We call it the brand of all of the solution and our service architecture. So the Harbor AI will be the AI decision and governance platform. As you can see that using your 1 minute, so you are able to make a decision of all of your manufacturing based on the dashboard of the Harbor AI, and you are easily to management all of the manufacturing in connect to our dashboard in the Harbor AI. That's one of the future, the Harbor AI for the management multiple equipment, the dashboard. And the next is, as you can see that right here, we provide RUL, that we call it the remand useful life model, AI model to evaluate the equipment life. And we do provide a curve of the RUL for the equipment in order to our customer to know what's the life of the equipment in order to prevent failure and prepare the part to fix the equipment in advance. And also we provide a suggestion and what kind of equipment or what kind of a failure the equipment got a problem, and in order to guide our customer to let them know the equipment, the symptom it is. So that's our Harbor AI, the AI decision and governance platform. So the vibration guard, as you can see that not only the vibration sensor to monitoring the vibration of the equipment to know the health status. And by the way, as you can see that right here, the sensor, that is the Taiwan #1 smallest sensor, vibration sensor made in Taiwan market. That is only 50 millimeter. the sensors, the size. And why we do that so small is because that is able to put robotic arm in order to ensure your robotic arm, the status is good or not. So that's our Taiwan #1 sensor of the vibration for equipment detection. So that's a vibration guard. And the next is the power guard. And the power guard, we do have the exclusive technology. And I believe that which is worldwide #1, the full band partial discharge sensor. Typically in the current industry, they do have the three area of the sensor. One is the low frequency, the sensor to detect voltage current leakage. And ultra high frequency is to detecting the partial discharge for the high voltage equipment. And but for harbor, we combine these three kind of frequency as one together. So our sensor is able to detect low frequencies, voltage, current leakage, and concurrently we are able to detect the ultra high frequency for protection the high voltage equipment. So that's with our exclusive technology and also have the design pattern. So the third is the sound guard, and we do have the ultrasound can sensor and combined with our solution to provide the transportation safety. So we do have the advantage technology to doing the AI power to abnormal detection, hidden failure detection, and the real-time acoustic monitoring, especially to this kind of a solution already implemented in the Taiwan government transportation. So that's our sound guard. And the fourth product is the vision guard, and we do have the AI power vision and surveillance solution, typically in the railway project in the worldwide market. And we have the vision-based fire detection and smart surveillance camera and NVR design and integration platform that is be done by Harbor Insight as well. So why we do that? Because after using that kind of product and with the Harbor AI, and the benefit from the user to use our product, that is able to accelerate the processing will be 98% performance because starting from without our platform and typically the company doing the AI deployment, starting from the data collection, labeling, and feature engineering, and AI modeling, that will be traditional approach will be 14 days. But with Harbor, and it will be reduced to 5.5 hours. So that will have the 98% fast data processing, and that's our advantage to provide our customer. So why Harbor technology? Because we do the end-to-end integration, and we have the proven AI technology, and we also have the rapid deployment and multi models diagnostic, and we do have the global reach and over 10 years of a real-world field expertise. So that is the use case for the industries by the vibration guard, and we do the machine tool and PCB drilling machine, sewing machine equipment, semiconductor clean room, and semiconductor equipment for refill oven. And we also have implemented our product to the display the manufacturer. And for the power guard, we have the largest shipping mall high voltage distribution room inside just near the Xinyi district in Taipei City. And we do have the high voltage distribution room of optics factory. And that's our use case for industry. I think that's all for my introduction, and especially for the Harbor AI and for regards of the solutions. So any question for the presentation, it will be welcome from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon, for the comprehensive presentation. If you can send me the slides after, also with your contact details, I'll share them with the participants also, so they can also get in touch in case of need. As we are a little bit running behind schedule, I'll start slowly closing the event by thanking all the speakers and making the time of being here today. I think your insights were very useful, and I think and I hope that the opportunities and the input you shared can be useful for the SMEs connected today, looking into expanding their business outside Europe, but also for companies that are interested from outside Europe to do business in Europe. Here you find my contact information in case you want to get in touch and get to know more about our activities, or if there are any questions related to the event. Thank you to the participants for joining today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you to the next events organized within the internationalization community. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you all a nice day or evening, and yeah, see you soon.